Hello, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into a powerful and timeless story of dreams, jealousy, and incredible forgiveness. This is the story of Joseph the Dreamer. Long ago, in the land of Canaan, lived a man named Jacob who had 12 sons. He loved all his children, but he had a special place in his heart for Joseph, who was born to him in his old age. To show his affection, Jacob gave Joseph a beautiful coat of many colors. This gift, however, made Joseph stand out, and not always in a good way. His brothers watched him with growing envy. "Look at him," one would mutter. "Father gives him gifts while we toil in the fields. Does he think he's a prince?" The colorful coat became a symbol of their resentment. Their feelings only worsened when Joseph, full of youthful innocence, shared his dreams with them. "Brothers," he said one day, "I dreamed that 11 sheaves of grain were bowing down to my sheaf." His brothers were furious. "What? Are you saying we will one day bow to you?" they snapped. Joseph tried to explain it was just a dream, but the seed of bitterness had been planted. Soon after, he had another dream. This time, he saw the sun, the moon, and 11 stars all bowing down to him. When he told this to his family, even his father, Jacob, was taken aback, though he kept the matter in his heart. For the brothers, however, this was the final straw. Their envy turned into a dangerous hatred. One day, Jacob sent Joseph to check on his brothers, who were grazing their flocks far away in Dothan. Seeing him approach from a distance, wearing that infamous coat, they saw their chance. "Here comes the dreamer," one said grimly. "Let's put an end to his dreams for good." The oldest brother, Reuben, tried to intervene. "No, let's not harm him. Let's just throw him into this empty pit." He secretly planned to come back and rescue Joseph later. So, when Joseph arrived, they violently tore the coat from his back and threw him into a deep, dry well. He cried out for mercy, but their hearts were like stone. Shortly after Reuben left, a caravan of traders heading to Egypt passed by. Judah, another brother, had an idea. "Why should we have his blood on our hands? Let's sell him instead. We'll be rid of him and make some money." And just like that, for 20 pieces of silver, the brothers sold their own flesh and blood into slavery. They then dipped Joseph's beautiful coat in goat's blood and took it back to their father, telling him a wild animal had killed his favorite son. Jacob was consumed by grief, weeping for days on end, refusing all comfort. Meanwhile, in Egypt, Joseph was sold to Potiphar, the captain of Pharaoh's guard. Despite his terrible circumstances, Joseph didn't despair. He worked diligently and with such integrity that Potiphar soon noticed. He saw that everything Joseph managed prospered, and he put him in charge of his entire household. It seemed things were finally looking up for Joseph. But trouble found him again. Potiphar's wife took an improper liking to Joseph and tried to tempt him. He firmly refused, saying, "How can I do such a wicked thing and sin against God?" Scorned and furious, she lied to her husband, accusing Joseph of attacking her. Blinded by rage, Potiphar believed her and had Joseph thrown into prison. Back in a dark cell, it would have been easy for Joseph to lose hope, but he remained faithful and kind. His character shone so brightly that even the prison warden noticed and put him in charge of the other prisoners. His gift for interpreting dreams soon came into play again. Pharaoh's royal cupbearer and baker were thrown into the same prison, and both were troubled by strange dreams. Joseph listened carefully and explained their meanings. He told the cupbearer that in 3 days, he would be restored to his position. To the baker, he sadly delivered the news that in 3 days, he would be executed. And everything happened exactly as Joseph had foretold. Before the cupbearer left, Joseph asked him, "Please, remember me when you are back in the palace." But once he was free, the cupbearer completely forgot about the man who had given him hope. Joseph was left to wait in prison for 2 more long years. Then, one night, Pharaoh himself had 2 very disturbing dreams. In the first, he saw 7 healthy, fat cows being devoured by 7 skinny, sickly cows. In the second, 7 plump heads of grain were swallowed by 7 thin, scorched heads. He woke up deeply troubled and summoned all the wise men and magicians of Egypt, but no one could tell him what the dreams meant. That's when the cupbearer's memory was suddenly jogged. "Your Majesty," he said, "I remember my fault today. There is a young Hebrew man in the prison who can interpret dreams." Joseph was immediately brought out of the dungeon, cleaned up, and presented to the most powerful man in the world. Pharaoh said, "I am told you can understand dreams." Joseph replied with humility, "It is not in me. God will give Pharaoh a favorable answer." He then explained that both dreams carried the same message. Egypt would experience 7 years of incredible abundance, followed by 7 years of devastating famine. He advised Pharaoh to appoint a wise administrator to collect and store grain during the good years to save the nation during the bad. Pharaoh was amazed. "Can we find anyone else like this man, in whom the Spirit of God is?" he declared. Turning to Joseph, he said, "Since God has shown you all this, there is no one as discerning and wise as you. You shall be in charge of my palace, and all my people are to submit to your orders. Only I will be greater than you." And just like that, the slave, the prisoner, became the second most powerful man in Egypt. Joseph managed the resources of Egypt perfectly. When the 7 years of famine began, it was severe, affecting all the surrounding lands, including Canaan where his family lived. Desperate for food, Jacob sent his sons to Egypt to buy grain. They came and bowed low before the powerful governor, having no idea that they were kneeling before the very brother they had sold into slavery so many years ago. After a series of tests to see if their hearts had changed, Joseph could no longer contain himself. He revealed his identity. "I am Joseph," he said, as his brothers stood frozen in terror. "Is my father still alive?" They were speechless, expecting retribution, but instead of anger, Joseph offered grace. Through his tears, he said, "Do not be distressed or angry with yourselves for selling me here. Because it was to save lives that God sent me ahead of you. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good." Joseph forgave his brothers completely. He brought his entire family, including his elderly father, Jacob, to live with him in Egypt, providing for them and saving them from the famine. The boy with the colorful coat saw his dreams come true not through pride, but through perseverance, integrity, and a heart full of forgiveness. The story of Joseph teaches us so much. It reminds us about the dangers of jealousy and favoritism within a family. It shows us that no matter where life takes you, your character and your gifts can pave a way forward. And most importantly, it teaches us the profound power of forgiveness to let go of past hurts and see a greater purpose in our struggles. Thank you for watching. If this story touched you, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring stories. We'll see you in the next one.